so you can hear Amber's story. Hers truly captures, and when I say truly, I mean it is the heart of what Little Pink Houses of Hope is all about. The heart of it. Amber Moore, along with her husband Brandon and their daughter Nima, attended one of the retreats this past May in beautiful Key West. As a 2025 Little Pink Houses of Hope recipient, Amber has experienced firsthand the power of community, connection, and compassion that makes the Little Pink Houses of Hope retreats so very meaningful. Amber's journey is truly amazing. It is one of resilience. It is one of great faith and unwavering hope. She embodies the spirit that reminds us why we do what we do, why you are here tonight, creating spaces where families can heal, laugh, and rediscover their joy. So please, help me welcome to the stage Amber Moore.
Good evening. Thank you to the Little Pink Houses of Hope for this beautiful event. And thank you to everyone here, survivors, caregivers, friends, and family. It's a tremendous honor to stand before you tonight. Your presence here says more than support. It says that women alone. I was diagnosed with breast cancer on October the 22nd, 2024, the day after my 42nd birthday. I remember that day like yesterday, a day that I will never forget. Those words hit me like a ton of bricks. My world shifted in an instant. Between October and December of 2024, I endured 5 biopsies and 2 surgeries. On January the 15th, 2025, I was leaving the cancer center and received a call that my sister was going in for emergency brain surgery. She had a brain bleed. I spent 8 days in the ICU with her and wasn't sure how I was going to go forward with my own treatment. I ultimately decided to begin radiation in February, and every day felt like traveling a storm where every test and treatment was another wave to survive. But my journey is not only about tests and hospitals, it's about faith. It's about how God met me in quiet rooms, in the noisy waiting areas, in moments of fear and in moments of unexpected grace. Psalms 46:5 says, God is within her. She will not fall. That verse became a promise I reached for on the hardest days. Shortly after radiation, I had to make a choice I never expected to make. I paused my own treatments to stand beside my 13-year-old daughter, Nima. My diagnosis was eating her up. She was hurting, and she had faced a difficult episode with self-harm. Any parent here can imagine the weight of that fear. Nima's pain became my priority. Those weeks were long, tender, and terrifying, but they taught me what it means to love sacrificially, to trust God with both our healing journeys at the same time. As if that wasn't enough, I lost my federal government job of 10 years while I was out on medical leave. That loss shook me deeply, not only financially, but emotionally. What am I going to do now? Through all of this, God gave us moments of light that reminded us we were not forgotten. One of the greatest gifts came from the Little Pink Houses of Hope. On April the 21st, I received an email that read, "Congratulations, you've been selected." I was shocked because I had forgotten I applied for the Little Pink Houses of Hope with everything that was going on. But my family was blessed with a week-long retreat in Key West, the last week of May, a time to rest, to breathe, and to simply be together without the constant pressure of appointments and medical bills. Our retreat was more than a vacation. It was a time of rebuilding our family unit and healing our hearts. Ted and Amy Humphrey, who are two of my favorite people, by the way, were our volunteers. They welcomed us with open arms and treated us like family from the moment that they met us. During the retreat, we participated in so many activities that we would probably never have done, from paddleboarding to dolphin watching and even a private chartered yacht. I felt kind of special. My husband Brandon is an Army veteran who has been to war in Iraq, but is not a fan of open water. To my disbelief, he went snorkeling in the middle of the ocean with a little nudge from Ted and Amy and a fellow veteran, because he said that Little Pink had given us a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. In August, I attended the Little Pink annual cruise. On the cruise, I had the joy of meeting Janine, the amazing founder of the Little Pink Houses of Hope. Her passion and love for families like mine is a testimony of what God can do when one person says yes to being his hands and feet. Janine, thank you for being a vessel of hope and creating a legacy that touches countless breast cancer patients and their families. I want to be honest. There are days when hope feels small. There are nights I've cried quietly, and mornings I have to pray simply that God would give me enough strength to take the next step. But even in those fragile moments, I felt God's presence in the hands that have held mine during surgery, in the friends and family who have prayed and supported us, in our Little Pink family that checks in on us, and in my church family who surrounded us with love and prayers. Trusting God does not erase the fear, but it changes the way I walk through it. Proverbs 3:5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." Trust, for me, is a daily decision to surrender what I cannot control and to believe that God's plan for me is greater than my pain. To anyone who is newly diagnosed, mid-treatment, or caring for someone who is, I see you. Your story matters. You are not defined by this disease. You are defined by the God who loves you. It is okay to need a minute, and it is okay to lean on others. Let people be the hands and feet of Christ for you, to pray with you, to bring you a meal, to give you and your family a life-changing week-long retreat, or just to simply listen. Survivorship is not a neat finish line. Some days are easier than others. But in those moments when fear creeps in, I remember how far God has carried me. I remember the kindness we receive from people like Ted, Amy, Sharon, Pastor Buck, Miss Debbie, and a host of other Little Pinkers. I also remember that my identity is not a breast cancer patient. My identity is a beloved child of God. Jeremiah 29 holds a special place in my heart. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope. Plans to give you hope and a future.